And they don't do that with black conservatives. They do that with black liberals because, which obviously this last election, you had 92% of women voted Democrat. You had 78% of men voted Democrat. We sell ourselves as ignorant, and we sell ourselves as that we need help to continue to meet the minimum expectation of what everybody else is doing. And it's really an insult to ourselves, because if the most dangerous thing that a person could be is self-aware that they don't need help.
Facts.
Because the minute that you take yourself off of this titty, this government nipple, you realize your true potential. Right. We literally voluntarily dumb ourselves down, and so we can't be mad when other people try to meet that expectation. We always think that a white person got to qualify themselves to come to the barbecue. Don't nobody give a fuck about that barbecue.
Right. Oh no.
You know what I'm saying? Like
they do. The white people do. They love it.
There's a segment. There's a small segment of white people that want to be down. The vast majority of white people
don't care about
give a fuck. Don't care. They genuinely don't give a fuck.
They don't even know about your barbecue.
They don't even. Yeah, but don't you think that's disrespectful? That we they father and they disrespect us like that? Don't you think that? Seriously,
this is why people have to dumb down when they talk.
Yo, can you wait? Am I wrong?
That is insanity.
Am I wrong by saying that the first person on earth was black? Am I wrong?
What does that have to do with the conversation?
It means that's how great we are.
It's irrelevant.
That's what liberal people do. They have to change the trajectory of a conversation because you cannot add value to it. So
you see what Anton said? He's saying that. That's how great we are. Some people don't realize it.
That's irrelevant to the conversation.
There is nothing great about being
irrelevant because
y'all, we got to do one mic. We can't hear all y'all.
There is nothing great about being too inept to have conversations you should be having as an adult. These people cannot speak. They have poor vernacular. And the proof is
who you be around? Where you live?
It's not about around.
You live in the ghetto?
I live
around white people. I live around white people.
And this is exactly
why do you live around white people?
Shampoo.
People, because you cannot keep up with quality conversation because you are not a quality man.
I just said I live around white people.
Shampoo, if you keep with the same argument that black people are the greatest. Okay, but if you keep with the same argument that black people are the greatest and we're first people on this planet, we get the stereotype that we present to everybody else. It's like it's irrelevant to the conversation because
that's a small percentage. The people
unfortunately, as a group, as a whole, we present a bad image as a whole.
We don't.
Now, are there segments of black Are there segments of black people that do not fit the stereotype? Absolutely. But unfortunately, a large majority of us operate under poor stereotypes.
Shampoo is one of them. He knows.
I believe that's promoted. I don't believe I believe the majority.
Stereotypes are not earned. Stereotypes are earned.
Like they're earned because that's what they're promoting. When you wake up, you see a nigga raped somebody. When you wake up, you see a nigga shot somebody. When you wake up,
they don't do that no more.
When you mean to tell me that all these YNs out here constantly committing violence is something? We're doing that.
What news you watching?
No. I'm saying they're promoting that. There's violence all around.
Not no more. Not since Black Lives Matter.
You think only black people do violence?
No, but that's not the argument. It's not about. We already know.
You need a therapist.
If the statistics show that we're committing more violence than anybody else,
that's not true. That's not true. That's not true.
50%. I think the numbers
you're lying.
50%. I'm lying.
You sound like a motorboat.
But you know what I'm saying. Now you got to be joking and not even continue the conversation.
You know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
You
sound like you in the 1970s.
Come on, bro.
Mike, Mike,
this is 2025. Niggas is riding around in G-Wagons. Where you live at, brother?
Mike. The stat you're referring to, is it the one that says 13, like black people's 13%, but commit 50% of the homicides and the robberies? Is that the one you're talking about?
I believe so. The last information I read that the majority of the violence and crimes that we're committing is an overwhelming majority in comparison to other races.
I heard it too. I don't know if it's true, but I heard it too.
I think that data is flawed, though. I still think it's disproportionately high for such a small.
It's high. It's high. Don't quote me on the number, but it's definitely high.
Math. This is simple math.
No, I think because we have seen people with their mugshots, and we've seen Hispanic people, white people have been labeled. If they're white, they're black. If they're Hispanic, they're labeled white. So we can't always trust a source of data if the data is not always.
That's not true. Not all Hispanics are labeled as white.
So I'm not negating.
I'm Hispanic.
Dominicans.
So they're not all labeled as white.
Yeah, and you think you're
white.
I'm
talking about people who have been arrested.
You don't know what I think I am. First of all, I know what I am.
You're not walking in nowhere saying you Hispanic. I know that. I know you don't say you Hispanic. I know that.
I just said I was.
Yeah, but you tell us because we black. But when you outside, you think you white. I know it. I know it.
Shampoo.
Nobody has ever accused me of being white.
You leave your Spanish side in the car when you go in the store. I know that.
You don't know. So out of all the things, have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Shampoo.
Yeah, you just
based off of all the things that we spoke about, the stereotypes that are pretty common amongst the black, us as the culture. Tell me, what is your opinion of all that? Is that us, encouraging those stereotypes?
I tell you my opinion. If you want to hear my opinion, or you just want to play the trumpet, let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
When in all communities, all race communities, there's crime in those communities.
Goes without saying.
But hang on. I know you want to just beat us up, but you're gonna get a chance. I'm just telling you. When you see all the races, there's crime, murder, everything in those communities. Asian, all kind of races. But black people's crimes and negativity are promoted more than theirs. The reason why is they don't want us to know who we are and what we've done. That's all.
Who's they?
I can't believe you don't agree with what I just said. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
Shampoo.
It's unbelievable.
So why does gentrification unfortunately affect blacker communities than any other community?
Well, that affects us in a good way, because it cleans up the community. It cleaning
up what?
Gentrification is good for black communities because it weeds out the weak. If you can't afford to live in those communities, you got to get out.
So if the community is in a poor state, because of why?
Why?
Because of the programs, the wealth, the liberal whites are damaging to black people, and Republicans whites are damaging to black people.
So gentrification is affecting these neighborhoods primarily because of liberal whites?
Martin Luther King, and maybe Anton will agree, Martin Luther King was a traitor. He was just like what Anton is saying, that we wanted to get along. We was doing fine until Martin Luther King came along. We was doing fine. We had our own businesses. Here come this nigga, and he want to just integrate with white people. We gotta be next to them. We gotta be next. That's what Martin Luther King did. He was a traitor. That's what he was. He was a traitor. If you listen to his son now, he's a coon too. That's a fact.
Shampoo,
but you know what's so interesting?
I learned this from my father.
Although I do disagree with Shampoo, I will say that I tell people all the time what Shampoo is saying is what a lot of black people actually felt about him when he was alive. And when I tell people that, people try to act like that is not true. Black people in mass, a lot of black people did not fuck with Martin Luther King when he was alive. I'm not going to say all of them, but there was a large group of people that didn't fuck with Martin Luther King when he was alive. And they felt as though, he was too docile, that he was too, helpful, that he was too, tolerant,
naive,
and that he wanted to integrate, or he wanted to give black people the opportunity to integrate. That part came later as far as how people felt about Martin Luther King. But in a general sense, a lot of black people genuinely did not fuck with Martin Luther King when he was alive, and they didn't even start celebrating him until he died. That is the honest to God truth.
That's how it happens with all.
I can't speak on that.
I feel you.
Maybe
Why you can't speak on that? Why you can't speak on that? You just spoke about.
I don't have the history. I don't have the history to speak on. I mean, if it's true, if it's true. But however, that doesn't negate
How do we get here? How do we get here?
It's not even a topic of conversation.
We on Shampoo's train right now.
Right.
You ain't on my train. You're not on my train.
We got one mic.
We on Shampoo's train on Tangent Station.
You ain't got to insult me because I said black people are great. You don't got to beat me up.
I didn't disagree with you on that one. I didn't disagree with you. I'm talking about the stereotypes.
Get back to the original question.
And like she said, Aaliyah just said, let's get back to the question. And it's talking about why do liberal whites dumb down and speak to blacks? And I think unfortunately
that's not all she said.
But we are giving the stereotype.
That's what I said.
The stereotype exists. And unfortunately, when white liberals choose not to educate themselves more about black people, because we're not all about the stereotypes, not all black people fit all stereotypes. Unfortunately, we've given them stereotypes. So it's like we're wrong for the stereotype, but also liberal whites don't educate themselves beyond what the stereotypes
I don't think that's
the Chinese gave us the stereotype that they fry chicken and do chicken wings and fried rice. They got that. Now you're gonna say no, they don't, because
everybody has stereotypes.
Yeah.
Now what?
But
now we all have stereotypes. Now what?
It's not white people's responsibility to. It's not their responsibility to try to make it right for us. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I agree with you with that.
We genuinely should not give a fuck about what white people think.
Right.
But two things could be true at the same time. Because we shouldn't care what they think. I don't give a fuck about what nobody think. That's how much I don't care. However, we should still want to educate ourselves because that's what's best for ourselves. You shouldn't need somebody else's validation and permission to educate yourself, to be, know how to communicate effectively. We are our own worst enemy, and then we look to them for validation, and that's why we continue to compare ourselves to white people, when in reality, they fucked up too. If this food stamp shit situation proved us anything, it should have proved to you that they fucked up. White people is in a jam, bro. They fucked up. They don't know what to do. They own food stamps way more than we are. They laid off just as much as we are. And they angry and they upset at the fact that they not making it. They women is fucked up. They men is beta and they gay. They the ones that was the first passport bros. Everything that we, and listen, I'm gonna keep it 100.
Talking that shit,
everything that we, and this is why I'm so disappointed in the culture, is because we have so much more potential, but we hate ourselves and we are our own worst enemies. The funny thing about it is that if you look at the history of this country, and I'm gonna just keep it 100, if you look at the history of this country, everything that we do fucked up is because we adopted it from them. When you think about, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all white people is bad, because you got to look at it on an individual basis and you got to look at it based off of the culture. But if you just break it down, right? When you think about the first women to leave their households and to fuck over they husbands, that was a white thing. And then they turned it, they hijacked the civil rights movement and they turned it into feminism, and they got black women to be the face of it, even though they are the ones that benefited it the most. And then they the ones that made themselves a minority by saying that we should be considered women a minority. Y'all could be a double minority, but we're gonna be a minority and we're gonna benefit off of y'all joining in off the movement. when you think about leaving the households, when you think about welfare state, when you think about passport leaving, when you think about family court laws, that's a them problem. This is some shit that they was a part of, and we made ourselves inclusive of it because we felt left out, and now we fucked up because it hurt us more than it hurt them because we were smaller parts of the population. And usually what happens with smaller groups is that things affect you exponentially more, better or worse. So when you win big. When you lose big. And the majority of us are losers. And that's why we are now grouped into this one big thing as a stereotype. And we so hateful when another person break out, because then we call them a coon or we say they crabs in a barrel. And we don't truly believe in diversity or really having somebody that think outside the box, because that's the way that you grow. The thing that they taught y'all, and this is the interesting part about this, they taught us to think one way. When in reality, the way that you grow is to observe how other people are successful. Absolutely. And that is what you learn. You take the meat, you spit out the bones, you let them have the bullshit, and you take the shit that's great for you. And so what they taught us to do is have this groupthink mentality and to stay on code. So if I come up with a great idea, because I don't agree with you on this thing, you can't listen to me on that other thing. And then I am supposed to only do it your way. And that limits us, because now we can't even take some of the great things and adopt it, because then you're going to say that you sold out.
I'm going against the
That's how fucked up we are. So now when they come through and they want to be like us and they say, well, listen, we want to be liberals, we want to be white apologists, we want to be all of this dumb shit. We think that that makes them valid and that they can now come to the barbecue because we feel better about ourselves, but it don't change our situation. We still fucked up, and they feel as though they got to fit in. So now they code switching, aka changing the way that they speak to us, because they don't look at you as intelligent. They just want to be cool. Yeah, and if you learned anything about black people in school, in public schools, is that these motherfuckers always doing dumb shit to make themselves look cool, but they dumb as fuck, and it's a diversion away from the fact that they got some other shit happening in their life, and so they making jokes to try to defer away from the shit that they fucked up about, and they distracting the other niggas from learning. I don't think that they are wrong for downing themselves to look cool. We are dumb as fuck for continuing to embrace our ignorance and then validating it, acting like they doing something great by wanting to be a part of this bullshit that we got.
And we pass down the ignorant baton to our children, which keeps the cycle going, and it's never
perpetuation.
That's why our youth cannot read. So we're breeding a new batch of ignorance and abundance, and it just repeats and repeats.
It's being perpetuated.
Now,
the part you guys said about ignorance, like what parts are you talking about? Like the culture, like the booty hole brown type of shit, like
we're voluntarily ignorant with the fact that we don't want to evolve. Yeah, and we continue to. I mean, if you want to just go all the way across the board, relationships, spirituality. Think about. Okay, let's stop there. Let's use spirituality. Let's use something that we never talk about. How the fuck we get so gay?
Well, let you tell it. They copied it from the white folks.
We did.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
If you go to most African countries, they show that
off. They'll chop.
Oh yeah, they don't play that over there.
That wasn't a us thing. That's a them thing.
Yeah, you
listen. We didn't even have gay cities like that. That was a San Francisco white left West Coast shit. In a short amount of time, we became gay as fuck.
I'm talking.
I'm telling you the truth. That's just honestly. That wasn't an us thing. We were masculine. We were masculine men. We were masculine men that walked around with big dicks, and we wanted to fuck everything. We were looked at. We were worshipped as gods. How the fuck we start fucking with men? That's some new shit. That's some recently during my lifetime shit. That is not no shit that we supposed to be rocking with in recent time. That's a recent.
We're conservative. We don't believe in abortion. We don't believe in like you said. I don't want to disparage gay.
No. I'm a disparager. I do it for everybody. Here's the worst part about it. Not only did we become more gay than ever, we went, because when we do shit, we go all in. We didn't just become gay, we became flaming.
Well, because Shampoo said black people are superior.
We didn't
they
just
do it
become
better.
gay. We like, listen, we gotta make it a part of the church. We gotta fly the flags on our church. We gotta do everything.
Black people do it better.
Black women, we're gonna do all of this dumb shit. I'm telling you that this was not us. If you go back and you look at all of the old movies, when you look at like the gay clubs and shit, the discos and all of that, the cocaine, that was a white man thing. That was not a black guy thing. That was never a black man thing.
Studio 54.
But in order,
so when you think about it, I don't blame them for looking at us as Neanderthals, because we exhibit Neanderthal behavior.
So are we saying homosexuality is rooted in a race particularly?
You said what now?
Are we saying that homosexuality is like a race thing?
It's like a who?
A race. But you said it wasn't.
No, but
I don't think it's a race thing. I think
homosexuality is cultural.
Oh.
Everything is cultural. It's the thing that you promote.
I think it's trauma. Me personally, I think it's a trauma thing. I think it stems from trauma.
Type of trauma, Aaliyah?
You're gonna get fired tomorrow.
So like rape, you know, some of these little boys was touched on by other men. Like it's just a cycle of, you know,
because
one person was touched on, then the person that was touched on touches on somebody else, and then that person touches on somebody else. It's just a whole cycle of trauma.
Here's the difference though, because that's always happened in families.
Right.
Yeah. It's not
white
right.
or black.
But it wasn't celebrated and it wasn't promoted.
That's the same thing with the crime. Like this guy Mike said, that they're promoting the crime more. It's the same scenario.
The black community is promoting the crime. Do you listen to the rap music?
That's
Do
what
you
I'm
listen
saying.
to rap music, Shampoo?
It's really what
we
it's
promote
really what we choose to celebrate.
in our culture.
Wait, let me land this plane. You said we promote it, right?
Yes, rap music. King Von. We got the what is it? Drill music. We got drill music. What we talking about? They talk about spinning and killing people.
Go down the line how we ain't shit. Go ahead, keep going.
No, but think about
it. It's not about how we ain't shit. This is the truth. This is the problem. This is the problem.
Go ahead.
This is just the truth. It's not a distraction. This is what it is.
So Anton,
this is the music. The proof is in the pudding. You've been sitting here all night talking about the proof in this and proof in that. The proof is this in our rap music, in our culture. We talk about criminality all the time. Right. All the time. We promote it. We push it.
Murder.
Just like Anton said, we promote this stuff in our community.
No.
That's why they look at us like this. This is why they look at us like that.
All right, let me answer.
I didn't ask you a question.
Exactly. Yeah, but you rambling on with the same shit.
So you've been giving all the women.
You've been rambling all night. You can't let nobody else talk.
You know, we're not sitting around in Thanksgiving dinner. You can't just ramble on.
Was talking. So why you Thanksgiving me and Aaliyah the same respect? Because you was so tight-lipped like a butt crack when he was talking. Right. But now you want to.
Because he don't respect women.
Okay, that's me. You right.
That's it. He don't respect women at all.
You shouldn't even be next to me.
I don't argue with men, so I'm not doing that. But it's just that's
you bottom.
One mic, y'all. One mic. Let's get through this and we go to super chats next.
Yeah, I think Shampoo. There was a question to Shampoo. So
she's holding a pencil. I ain't seen a pencil in 30 years.
Of course, that's why you can't talk or read, brother. You need to read.
A pencil for them. They still selling.
So before we go to super chats, Shampoo. She said she made a point that we encourage it through our music, through our culture. What's your rebuttal to that?
My rebuttal is to use the word promote. That's where you're getting me wrong. I agree with you that we do negative things to ourselves and yada, yada, yada. But my opinion is that all races do that to themselves. But
you're deflecting. We're not
That's not
talking
the
about
argument.
all of this.
Let him finish.
Let him land so we can move on, y'all. Go ahead.
Ain't shit to land. He's deflecting.
I'm not deflecting.
Yes, we're talking about black people. Don't bring up China. Don't bring up Asian people. Don't bring up Venezuelan people. We are talking about black people. Black people.
You know what? Q? I give up. Black people ain't shit. I agree with you, Aaliyah.
Who said that?
You did. You did.
Who said that?
Say it all fucking night.
All night.
All night. Black people ain't shit.
It's not about black people ain't shit. Let's just have the conversation.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know any positive things about black people? Go ahead. Open your mouth now.
I don't disagree.
We got a bunch of black millionaires. We got what we got. Don't you say you live by the white people? So people like you got some money in their pocket.
That's all you got is money. That's all you talking about is money.
What's going on?
So it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have.
One mic.
With that accent, your accent doesn't sound like money.
Okay.
It sounds like New York. It sounds like New York. That's it.
I'm from New York.
Like a project.
They get money in New York.
It sounds like when you take the garbage and put it in the wall.
Yo, shampoo. Do you think it's valid?
Okay, last thing, Titus, and then we go to super chats. Go ahead, Titus.
Yo, shampoo. So I'm not choosing this. I'm just saying, like, don't you think it's valid to get feedback from, or negative feedback to improve upon? Because I think that's what.
No, I do, but not when it's not when it's constructive, not when it's to beat somebody down. Nobody could beat me down because I'm a black man. You can't beat me down.
So for example,
I can beat you down. This is the problem. You're the example.
When I walk into a restaurant,
are the example of what Anton was just talking about. You have to distract. You have to distract the masses. How about you stick on topic? People are trying to learn and hear the conversation.
You wasn't listening.
You go distracting. Here you go.
You wasn't listening. You wasn't listening.
Can we keep on a topic? You keep chucking and jiving. Why the fuck we can't have the conversation?
You weren't, because I do what the fuck
I want to do.
constructive
criticism. You talking about black people ain't shit. That's how you feel.
I do what the fuck I want to do.
You mad that we can't have this conversation?
How about that, Aaliyah?